We had an opportunity to catch up recently with Mr. Drew Cameron, the HVAC industry legendary trainer, operator, just a guy that's been around the industry for 30 years and has pretty much experienced every conceivable situation that you're going to face in the course of your career. So we had a chance, our very own John Ketchell sat down with Drew and had a conversation with him. We wanted to share that interview with you because we believe that it's so impactful and so powerful and so important for you and your company.
So we're around the first of the year right now, and with the new year, everybody's reflecting on not only their personal achievements, but their professional achievements. So when a contractor is looking at their business and trying to take stock and trying to put together a plan for next year, it starts with a lot of self-analysis, I would imagine. Can you tell us a little bit about that and help us and help our contractors how they would actually do that own internal self-analysis on their business?
So the assessment that I go through is something that I think a lot of contractors can do on their own, is I do an organizational chart analysis. And I want to look at their org chart if they have one. And most companies I go to, they don't have an organizational chart. And if they do, it's not set up the way that it should be set up. And by that I mean, you need to have not just the person or the people in the organizational chart. The first thing you need to say is, what does the structure need to be to accomplish the business objective? And so from that, I take a look back and say, okay, well, do we have a vision? Do we have a mission? So we need to have a vision statement and a mission statement. So before the org chart, I then say, okay, well, if you don't know where you're going, any organizational chart may or may not get you there. Any organizational structure may or may not get you there. So I look at the vision statement, then a mission statement, then their core values. From that then says, okay, to accomplish the objective, if you will, the mission, what does this organizational chart need to look like? And then I'll say, okay, I'll lay out that structure, if you will, with just kind of a flow chart, if you will. And I don't put any names in there, they're just positions. And then what I do for a business that's already in place, I say, okay, let's go talk to the internal people. I don't need to talk to technicians. I don't need to talk to installers. I don't need to necessarily talk to salespeople unless they have some level of organizational, supervisory, or management responsibilities. I want to just talk to internal personnel that are making the day-to-day operations flow and make the field operations flow, meaning they make sure that sales, installation, service, maintenance is all flowing. So from that, I'm looking at the president, the general manager, the bookkeeper, the call takers, the dispatcher, the purchasing agent, the warehouse manager, so forth and so on. Those types of positions, any managerial positions, if you've got service manager, install manager, so forth and so on. And I'll ask them each, what is it that you do on a day-to-day basis, week to week, month to month, if that changes? And that gives me an outline of what they say, they think of their responsibilities. And then I'll look at those responsibilities and I'll say, okay, where do those responsibilities belong on the organizational chart? And what you come to find out in many companies is that you don't have an installation manager, you don't have an office manager, you don't have a service manager, or even a bookkeeper for that matter. You have like Dave's job, Sue's job. And what you come to find out is that you have no structure to the company, and that becomes a problem. So then what we'll do is we'll realign those duties commensurate with the position, and then that determines the job description. And then what you may find is then you allocate those people based on job description to the organizational chart. And somebody may appear in 2 or 3 boxes, and that's okay, because that just means they have 2 or 3 job descriptions, meaning they wear different hats or perform different roles, from time to time. But we want to know that because you may not have bodies in every box, for some period of time. And then once you've got that lined out, you've got your organizational chart lined out, those duties can then be spelled out, like I say, in a job description. And then from job descriptions flow processes, tasks, systems, so forth and so on. And that's how I kind of do the initial assessment of an organization before I kind of do a deeper dive into any kind of numbers or financials.
Is that something that's standard, or I would say translatable to $1 million company, a $3 million company, a $5 million company, or even a $500,000 company? Are those types of structures, just scalable up, or is that something where it varies dramatically when you get into those different sizes?
Excellent question. Yeah, it does. I mean, you have to have that from whether you're doing $1 in business or you're doing 100 million or more in business. And interestingly enough, we've gone into small businesses that have those organizations, and we've gone into small businesses that don't. We've gone into large businesses that have those organizational structures, and large businesses that don't. We worked on a company just a few years ago, $80 million company, no vision statement, no mission statement, no core values, no organizational charts, and they couldn't understand why. They said, well, we had been profitable, and I said, well, maybe you had the illusion of profit, and by that I mean, you thought you were profitable because you were turning dollars so quickly, and when the revenue dried up, the profits weren't there, and you didn't understand it. You're like, well, we've always done business this way. How are we not profitable now? Even though revenues have dropped, we've cut maybe a little bit of overhead. But the problem is, like I said, is you've got to be not only effective, which is mean doing the right things, but you have to also be efficient, which means doing the right things right. And what you'll find is that without these structures in place, if revenue tends to dry up a little bit, then profits tend to dry up a little bit.